welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I typically do reviews, reactions to things on the news, politics, things like that. Today I am doing a review on the latest episode of The Challenge. Yeah, that's my face right now. I feel like the past few episodes, or I guess the beginning of the season was like high intensity and like, but now it's like, oh, that's kind of like more my reaction, but it's still pretty crazy. I don't have as much notes this time around because I think the episode was shortened. It started at 8 and it's now 9:05 p.m. I typically think it's an hour and a half, but we are now down to the wire and slowly closing on the final. But let me get into the review. We start off right where we left off, the challenge that was going on dark at nighttime. Everyone who is partnered up, excluding Big T, because we know that she lost her partner Nam due to his injury, is in their cages and they have handcuffs to themselves. We don't really know what's going on prior to the episode, but now TJ is saying like they just kind of stand there and eventually hold a ball. He tells them that they have to hold this ball for a prolonged amount of time until he tells them to stop. So I'm assuming if anyone dropped it, they'd probably have been disqualified. Eventually he tells them to put it down and to eat the food. And typically, if you watch the challenge, you know that the food is balls, testicles, brains, just weird animal parts that just should not be eaten, especially unseasoned. And they're eating it and they are throwing up profusively. The only thing that they have to essentially help it go down is cheese juice, is what Cory said. And I am just like, what is going on? And Fessy's, wow, I'm already messing up, I'm so sorry. In Fessy's confessional, he's saying how he wants to throw the competition because he wants to drop Aneesa. It's just really sad because it's very clear that Fessy never wanted Aneesa. Aneesa wanted Fessy, and Aneesa has taken him twice, and I think she picked him twice because she picked him in the first episode, and then she took him again after he dropped her the last time. So he's just like, I'm trying to make it really convincing, but he's like making it very obvious. I feel like whenever people throw it, they don't know how to throw things, or maybe they just don't care. And besides, they both have their skulls already, so like, you're gonna get to the final either way unless someone steals you. CT's complaining about Kam and saying that she's not trying and how he thinks that Big T would have tried harder. I'm just like, shut up. You dropped her, you hurt Big T's feelings, like lie in your bed, even though I love Kam. I don't have anything against Kam, but just him being all picky and choosy now after he made all that spectacle of last week. Leroy and Casey are the first to advance to the next round, and they have to solve a math problem. It's a really big math problem. It's like 300 and something times something divided. Like once there's those 3 digits, you have to multiply and divide, and they have no paper, and that's pretty much how the show typically works. I'm just like, I've been lost. Leroy is kind of relatively close to Kam. He asks Kam, hey, can you do this math problem for me? And she does it like nothing. I was like, oh my God, like, okay, whatever. So that kind of like shocked me for a second. And after that, they have to like scratch this like blackboard kind of thing. When they're scratching it, like there's nothing showing up, and eventually Cory and Gabby catch up to them. Eventually the thing tells them what to do, and they have to dig under the dirt. This is the part that I thought would have lost anybody because it's a big square, so you could have been digging in like the wrong corner and your things are on the other side, or maybe they have multiple tools, who knows. So eventually they get tools out, and again, Cory and Gabby are closing in. They get the tools and they have to kind of saw themselves out of the cage. And at that point they won. I was very confused because everyone was pretty much standing around, especially Kam, because I know that Leroy is her man and they're kind of like a team together. So if he wins, she wins. If she wins, he wins. But like, I saw a lot of people standing and not progressing. Like, did people just forfeit the food part? I don't know if no one wants to win because everyone has a skull. Like, I'm not really understanding why that was going on. And TJ made a comment about it. He's like, everyone gave up. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but that's just what it is. After we see Gabby and Fessy at the house, I'm just like, ew, not because of them as people, but I thought she had a boyfriend back home, and Fessy was just on Tori at the beginning of the season. Now that Tori's gone, now he's latched on to Gabby. And it's just kind of like, Fessy, just focus on your $1 million. I know there's always like love triangles that kind of makes it interesting sometimes, but I'm just like, focus on your $1 million. Next morning, Cory is asking Fessy how it'd be if Tori and Gabby are in the house at the same time. And the conversation dialogue was just very bro and cringe to me because Tori was engaged at the time of this. So him even insinuating that Fessy would have a chance or would be pursuing it, it's just very like, you know, she was with someone. Her and Jordan were together for years prior to the breakup. They had not broken up at this time. I don't know if she was talking about it. We didn't see it on camera. But I'm like, why are you encouraging him to go pursue a girl who was engaged to some, like, I don't know if Cory's just messy. I know it's not something very big. It's just something that was in the episode and dialogue. Next, we see Kam and Nany talk during the little igloo session, you know, when they go out and they drink. And it's night at the house because it is quarantine. And they're talking about how Nany's time to go in and get her skull because she is one of 3 women who do not have their skulls. It's Nany, Gabby, and Big T. But unfortunately, Big T is ineligible for this week because she is a rogue agent, or I mean, like she's not tasked with someone because Nam left. During the deliberation, it was pretty simple because also Leroy is the winner, along with Casey, and Leroy is friends with Nany. So by default, whoever is voted in in the deliberation will regardless be going against Nany, because Nany is Leroy's friend, and Leroy knows that Nany really wants this. And again, she's one of the few girls who doesn't have their skull. But during the deliberation, Nany and Gabby were vocal and like, hey, we don't have them. Like, you can put Gabby as a house vote, and Nany will obviously be put in by Leroy. There wasn't really much conversation about it. Fessy was kind of like, to try and stay hidden in the fact that like he doesn't want to make it obvious that he knows that either girl was going to pick him, because he said that in his confessional. He's like, Gabby and or Nany would pick me. And I'm like, I didn't remember Nany saying it. Maybe she did say it and I forgot it a little bit, but he's trying to like be down about it. And Aneesa in her confessional was like, oh my God, I hope one of these girls would do something. Like, she's being very in her feelings and like, I don't want to say self-conscious, because I don't think that's what it is, but she's like, I'm so close to the final. If these girls still Fessy, I don't want Fessy to drop me. I'm so close. If that's what it is, I'm like, Aneesa, I don't know what to say. I really love Aneesa. She's been here for a bit. She's obviously, I think, the most senior, if not CT, and like, she hasn't won a final yet. I know she's really adamant about doing it, but this is just the power of the game. People steal people all the time. People get snaky and ruthless in this game TV show, so it is what it is. Then we see Fessy venting to Cory about how he wants to get another partner because he believes Aneesa is riding him to the final without putting in work. It was awkward because Aneesa was venting about this to Nany, who wants to steal Fessy away from her, and Aneesa and Nany are friends, so it's very like messy in that sense. I'm not saying it's like the worst of the worst, but it's like, imagine your friend wants to steal your partner and your partner knows that how much you want to keep him, but it's like only one person or one partner group can win $1 million, and everyone knows that. So it's like every man for themselves, hence what CT did to Big T. But it's just like, sheesh. We end up finding out that Gabby and Cory wrote it down prior to the crater, but when we get to it, Leroy reveals that he's selecting Nany, as I said like 100 times, because like she's like family to him. We all expect this just due to the conversation throughout the episode. It wasn't a surprise to anybody. And then TJ attempts to scare the house into thinking a twist was gonna happen. He had like some wordy words. I'm like, oh God, like what's gonna happen? Let's just get down to the episode. Let's have girls versus girls or guys versus guys. But he's like, anyways, it's girls versus girls. And I was like, oh my God, we thought it was gonna be a double eviction, or it's gonna be men's instead of women's, or something like that, because it's the girls who are actually ready, and Kyle's not ready to try and lose his skull. I'm not saying that anyone would want to be ready to lose their skull. When we go down, we learn that the challenge involves like a ring hanging, and the girls had to jump up and grab it. Whoever grabs it first probably has like the better leverage in that sense, and then race across the other side to try and put their ring on like a pole, like down to the bottom. So the first was Gabby, and everyone's like, oh shoot, because no one really knows Gabby's capabilities. This is her first competition or like challenge by herself, like solo. And then eventually Nany got the last two, which was 2-1. Nany won, and a majority of the house was happy, aside from probably Big T and Fessy. Fessy, because that was his little booth thing. That's what he said in his confession. I was like, boy, if you don't stop, we know, whatever. So he was upset about that and like losing his cuddle buddy or his hookup partner. I don't know. That's what he said verbatim, hookup. And it's just like, okay, so we have Nany, who's now making it to the final. I'm really happy and hope that she gets to hold on to her skull until the end, because again, we still have two girls who do not have it, and a guy, aka Cory, who does not have his skull yet. Then we find out what Nany decides to do. Does she decide to keep with Kyle or infiltrate? She infiltrated and she picked Fessy, which left Aneesa alone temporarily. Fessy was cocky and saying that Nany upgraded from Kyle, and I'm like, Fessy, this is your second season. Kyle's gone to final. I think he's won some money. I don't remember. It's been some years now. It was whenever that Cara Maria time. And then it was really awkward because Kyle was visibly upset because Cory and Big T were partners, and now he was left with the way he acted, left with Aneesa, and he's like, this is karma. I've been talking on Aneesa all season. I've been saying she hasn't been contributing anything. I've been saying she's been dead weight. Like, I've been talking trash on her now for this to happen. I'm like, that's rude. I mean, I know, oh God, they say mean things on here, and like, he even hides his expression. Like when Aneesa went to go hug him, like, hey Kyle, he was just like, I'm like, come on, you're a grown man, like act grown. I know that people were never really enthusiastic to be with Aneesa, hence Fessy being so adamant about trying to lose her, but you could be nicer, I don't know. But that's my really fast review because it was just a shorter episode, and also not that much crazy stuff happened. Maybe the final will have a lot more to talk about because the final is typically long and crazy. But let me know what you think of the season thus far, my review, and see you in the next one. Bye!